Yes, we licked the chili salt here. Don't judge me.
Welcome to the Grand Floridian, everyone.
Prince of the Bear here, and we're back in the grandest of Floridians.
In the most Floridian restaurant of the Grand Floridian?
Is this the most Floridian? I feel like Marquise is the most Floridian of the Grand Floridian, but Citricos is a close second. So we're here because Citricos has some new items on the menu, and of course when they say new, your number one choice of foodie infotainment is going to show up. We're going to eat some things, because of course remember she's vegan, and I'm not. And we're going to eat the food that you want.
Be sure to Citricos.
Go ahead, girl.
What does that mean?
Here to eat the food that you want.
I got me a passion fruit margarita.
Passion fruit Mars. Citricos puts a lot of time and effort in their drink program. Aesthetic-wise. Drink-wise, we'll see. We've had some very good mocktails here. There's some mocktails here we absolutely love, more than some of the alcoholic beverages here. Yeah, what's always interesting takes on drinks? Boba pearls, lime, passion fruit. It's an interesting color for a Mars.
I feel like it needs a straw. It's good, but it's a little too tart for me. I would not order this again.
Ooh-wee. That is the tart one. The passion fruit, I think, actually helps with how tart it would be without the passion fruit. It's really, really heavy on the limes. That citrus comes through. What Citricos is known for in the name. So the drink makes sense.
Give it like a 2 out of 5 margaritas.
I would give it 3.5 out of 5 logs. Definitely, if you order this, ask for a straw. Like trying to sip that thing, you feel like you're about to pour the whole thing on your shirt. Here we have the 1806 Old Fashioned. Everything in this restaurant, like similar to a lot of the Bay Lake restaurants, is themed after Florida. Our server swears this is the best Old Fashioned on the property. And when I put it up against the Topolino's Maple Old Fashioned, which I absolutely adore, that's like my alcoholic grandchild. If I was ever to birth some alcohol, and then that alcohol had alcohol, it would be my favorite. I would show favoritism because I'd be that kind of grandfather. And the Topolino's Old Fashioned would be my favorite. He claimed this is better. He says that everything that's any good at Topolino's, our server now, owes its heritage to this restaurant. Because the chef that used to work here now works there. I'm gonna take his word for it. But the proof is literally in the punch. Ooh. Now they made this Old Fashioned with orange juice, hand squeezed in house. It's close, very, very close. Still not topping that Topolino's Old Fashioned, but it's close. I'll give this 4.75 out of 5. It's very good, very smooth, very well balanced. But it's just missing that something special that Topolino's Old Fashioned has in my heart.
We're gonna get that bread. Look at this cute little baby bread. And thankfully we have Earth Balance. It's signature dining, so we better have freaking Earth Balance. That's all I gotta say. Though there are some signature dining places you go to that don't have Earth Balance. I am going to give one restaurant props where props are owed. Hollywood Brown Derby, when they give you Earth Balance, they put the Hawaiian salt on top. They do Himalayan salt here. I don't have Himalayan salt on top of my Earth Balance. I just have regular Earth Balance. Bear has Himalayan salt on his. I feel robbed. Cheers to the bread. It's crispy. It's nice. It's decent. It gives okay bread. It's better than the gluten-free bread, but it's just bread. I would give it like 2.5 out of 5 breads. I would probably tell my friends about this bread, but I wouldn't solicit the bread for other people to visit. It's not that good a bread.
At the behoof of the community, who has told me that I don't need to push myself in the dairy. I have a couple very bad mistakes lately. If you do miss any of that, check our community tab. We give like some behind the scenes, some extra info you didn't know. Just a little tidbit to help you out. I'm gonna use Earth Balance because I want to live. This nice, ooh, thank you, sir. It's like looks like a fruit walnut bread. Little dab. Very earthy, like a nutty bread, but still soft. Perfectly crisp crust. That is an in-house bread. That bread was not shipped from some other part of the hotel. That is amazing. That is 4 out of 5 claws.
Here we have the beautiful and my favorite arancini. It's the same size as the Hollywood Brown Derby croquette, but filled very differently. There's beautiful innards here. And then I'm gonna get some of the champagne aioli and the toppings. And let's just go to town. Cheers. It's so tropical. Just have this like beautiful smoky truffle in your mouth. The champagne aioli, watercress. It's such a good like little appetizer. One of my favorites. I would say it's a 5 out of 5. It's a Princessities item. If you come to Citricos and the arancini is here on the menu, must order it. It's better than that roasted cauliflower side that they have here, which we do have a review of in another video at Citricos. Go watch that one too.
We'll rob the princess of her arancini. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little leftover bit she has here. Get some of this aioli over here. I love that this dish stayed. I wish they'd been able to keep the rigatoni. We just found out recently this menu here changed 3 days ago. So that rigatoni with the beautiful egg and everything else you had is gone. Probably forever. I blame some of the community because you didn't come here and support it. It's a beautiful dish. A lot of work and love put into it. It's gone. At least we still have this. The way they season those mushrooms, give them like that meaty, savory texture without like it maintains the earthiness, but not that off-putting like earthy aftertaste you sometimes get with mushrooms. Like a whole new dish. This, greater than some of its parts, this is foodie art. 5 out of 5 claws. It's bare necessity. Even if you aren't vegan. And I know some of the vegan food looks kind of scary. This is a dish you should taste at least once. So here we have a revisit of the duck dish they used to have an appetizer. Now it's a duck dumpling, or basically like a duck 2 ways. You have duck-filled dumplings here with a real slice of duck here and a pool of some different additives and a soy ginger base. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this fine dining style. I would normally eat a dumpling whole. But for you guys, I am going to restrain my natural bear instincts. Take a little bitty bear bite. You get duck sometimes, it can be like a wild taste, a little gamey. But this, with the different sauces and soy ginger, gives it like this unique sweetness to the duck while still getting like that salty flavors that you usually get with like any sort of Asian-based dish. It's a very good duck. Now it's a good Donald duck. I'm not saying I need Donald, I wouldn't eat Donald, but it's good duck. We're gonna go ahead and try the plain duck. Got a nice sear on it. Careful, the bowl will tip on you. I can use a sharper knife. Go in here, some of the sauce. Tender, juicy, nice chew, not too much chew. This will definitely get you ready for the rest of your meal. It's just enough to like get you salivating, not enough to fill you up. That is signature dining though. So that 4.25 out of 5 points.
It's a beautiful sunset margarita with a house-made chili salt. Do not skip the chili salt. This is amazing.
Sunset, because the sun sets on this side of the glass. When you lick the chili salt. Yes, we lick the chili salt here. Don't judge me. You put it on the rim of the glass. What else am I supposed to do with it? Rotate the drink? That's too much work.
This is the marg for all the margs. Much better than the passion fruit one.
The sun never sets on Florida. I lie. It sets all the time. It's a good margarita. I agree. It's better than passion fruit. It's a much more traditional margarita. It's got that nice punch and drinkability.
I'll give it 4 out of 5 margs. It's the salt that makes it.
4 out of 5 plus.
This is a stew. This is the first time in my life I have ever seen a stew look like a granola bar. But here we are. Quinoa and farro cooked through the stew, which is how you cook those things. Chef's root garden vegetables and a puree on the bottom that looks... I wish it was a cashew cream, but it's not. It's fancier than that. So I'm gonna take some of this carrot from Chef Garden, and this should just fall apart in my opinion, but it doesn't. It holds true. It fell apart a little bit there. Not too bad. Let's see. Will this stew replace my favorite stew on property, which is currently the Impossible Bunny Chow? I don't know how I feel about that consistency. The quinoa and the farro are two very different consistencies that kind of fight with each other. I don't think that the stew is like flavorful enough to give it more flavor than just I'm eating grains. It's grain forward, which is nice. I feel like it's kind of on the bland side. I would give it like a 2.5 out of 5. Dinners, I really miss the pasta. The pasta was so much better than this.
I realize sometimes that I age myself by movie references. I don't feel bad about that. I feel bad that some of you haven't seen some of these movies. But if any of you have seen the Bruce Willis masterpiece Armageddon with Steve Buscemi and Ben Affleck, this reminds me when they land on the asteroid. I'm gonna leave it at that. Then we're going to just see how it tastes. Now, it's a beautiful display of all these things, and the chef explained how put all these things together, cook them down, so it's basically like a liquidless stew. Think like deconstructed, something you'd see at like Festival of the Arts at Epcot, but signature dining portions. Not much difference. But the ultimate test will always be the flavor. Is it a good flavor? Is the experience good? And that's what we hear. I sort of get what you're going for. Stew has all these like mixture of things like cooked together, so you get like that heartiness and richness of what a stew would be. And underneath all that, I can taste like there's like a line, a thread through the food that gives me the idea that it was cooked in like the same base, but like the texture gradient between like the super roasted carrots, the rest of the root vegetables in your mouth, to go from that to the quinoa. The sauce is good, but it's just like it sounds like it's missing something, and it's not the liquid that I'm missing. It's missing like that hearty punch, like the different heartiness of the vegetables is there, but like that together sort of like menagerie of flavors you go with the stew, I think is what I'm missing. It has potential. I don't hate it. I would eat it, but I don't know if I'd order it again. I would give it 3.25 out of 5 paws. So here we have the char siu pork. This is a pork chop, thick cut with some Asian influences. It's sort of like the char siu sauce. You have some traditional bok choy on here, some potatoes, a little puree here on the side as well to go with the pork. We're just gonna cut off one of these edges. And they gave me a nice sharp knife. It's very tender, honestly. I probably could have this with a fork. Until you get to the gristly parts. Let's go and try the pork. A little bit of sauce. A nice color to it. Skin on, all diced. So you get like those nice flavory fatty bits. Let's see how it tastes. Ooh, ooh. If you like crispy pork belly, you will like that. If you're weirded out by like hard cooked skin on a meat, might not be for you. The skin, or these little bits right here, is like crispy pork candy. It's sort of like biting into hard candy. The crack and everything else with the meat and the puree. The taste of the pork definitely comes through, but if it's not something that you're expecting, you go to surprise. Like I found it quite enjoyable. Your mileage may vary. Let's try everything together because I want to get like a full flavor of what to expect here. Get that. Get a little bok choy from the backside. Get some carrot in here, or it's more potato. A little bit of the puree. Another piece of pork. All in here. The skin is nice. I like it, but it feels like an Instagram gimmick. I love the flavors, but the skin's a little distracting. It's definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting something more rich and punchy. Given the history of this restaurant, and like the Florida flavors, the pork is sort of like the odd man out. That wasn't the chef recommendation. The chef recommended the steak to me. But I thought I'd try something different because I've never had anything else at this restaurant other than fish. Every single time I've come here, I've ordered the fish, either sustainable fish or they have the copia on the menu. This I'm giving 3.5 out of 5 paws, but I'm kind of wishing I'd ordered the fish.
Here we have a praline tart with some beautiful strawberries on top, which I'm not surprised. Now, this is a coconut-based praline, so please pray for me if you are religious. Okay, I'm glad that our server gave us a knife because the spoon is not gonna work. That was really hard. Now, I made a big bite because it was hard to cut, and I'm kind of scared because it's so coconutty, but I commit to this mistake, and I always seem to take the biggest bites, even though I don't want to eat this bite this big. But here we are. What? Let me tell you a story. When I was a child, I wasn't allowed to eat sugar. And if I wanted chocolate, I could only eat carob. So carob and I, we have a very intimate history. For the first 16 years of my life, before I actually got to eat chocolate. This tastes like a peanut butter carob cup. I don't taste coconut. I don't taste strawberry. The praline, the texture and everything tastes like peanut butter carob. And I'm not here for that. This is too much for like my childhood. I don't like it. I think if you're a carob fan, you're gonna love this. If you've never had carob before, be thankful. If you know you can't have sugar and you can only eat carob, you might like this. And I'm also sorry. 2 out of 5 tarts. Not the tart I'm looking for.
I've known the princess a long time. Not long enough, but a long time. And I've never seen her have that strong reaction to a dessert before. You know, suspense scenes in horror movies, like right before something happens. Oh boy. The tart is tartan. Definitely tartan. Definitely a tart. Oh boy. Let me scoop up one of these strawberries here. Okay, a little cross section there. I mean, it looks like a dessert. It's a dessert-y. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to taste like. I get a hint of the strawberry in the back end. This? Cream stuff?
Coconut.
You just taste a little citrusy. Praline disappears. I taste like the tart bottom, but I taste like this and then this. Everything in between just kind of disappears. I thought you dessert people wanted desserts to be like, what? This is kind of like, we have dessert at home. I think a 2 out of 5 plus is fair. Generous. That's it. Citricos.
Citricos.
Ooh. See what you did there. Menus changed. And menus do change over time. We expect that. We hope for that. Not always for the better.
So we came here with a friend because we did the Bay Lake bar crawl, and while we were doing the Bay Lake bar crawl, we were chatting about like how amazing the apple tart dessert is here and the pasta. So we were perusing the menu. So our friend's also vegan, and we saw that there were 2 vegan entrees on the menu. So we were like, yes, let's book it. Let's book it right now. So we booked it, and then we got here and we found out that the tart isn't here anymore and the pasta isn't here anymore, and it's just the stew and the new dessert. The arancini is still here, and that's the only thing I can really recommend. So I think in the future, if you're a vegan, go to the bar and order the arancini, and then like go to the poly.
Yeah. As your number 1 choice in foodie infotainment, we have a duty of care. If we don't like it, you're gonna hear about it. One way or the other. If there's anything else that you'd like to see us do, or maybe you think we got this wrong, maybe you guys have been here, maybe you're planning to come here and we got off, maybe it's an off night because it's a new menu. Let us know in the comments. If it's changed enough, we may come back and redo it.
Maybe.
As always, hit the notification bell to see other videos like this, and
we have new videos 5 days a week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
We'll see you soon.
Be sure to stay warm and subscribe.
You heard the girl.
If you don't subscribe or comment or something, Bear will yeet himself into Alaska and freeze to death.
I do miss that place. You heard the girl.